Hey, welcome to the Moviegoer. I'm your host, Francis von Zernick. This is, alright, so we're back. Last week was part 1 with Satsuki Mitchell, producer extraordinaire. And really, really just super, super cool, interesting girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
2920 was you first worked at industry.
Yes.
Entertainment,
yeah.
And then you moved on to ICM,
and then Immortal,
which is what?
It was
it's a production
it
company?
was.
It sounds very familiar.
Do you know
they
who
have a
Happy
logo,
Walters
right?
is?
Who?
Happy Walters?
No.
Okay, he was a music supervisor, and then he ended up creating this company. So the company is like a music and film production company.
Oh,
music management, film production.
Do they have a logo before movies that's famous, or no? I'm thinking.
You would have definitely seen them.
Okay, that's why I have it in my head. Yeah.
And they they produced the Vans Warped Tour and a couple.
Oh, okay.
Other
all
things.
Right.
Yeah, and then out of that, I ended up meeting the lawyer for Mark Cuban, who was coming in and having meetings, and I ended up getting hired for 2929.
And what were, because they were so, I mean, we talk about this on the show, but they it seems like you were talking about about him, specifically about he was always had his head in the future.
Yeah.
And pushing things to the limit as far as, well, we got to try this even though it doesn't make sense because I think this
he
is
could
the
also
way
afford it.
Well, yeah, and that helps.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to take risks when you have a safety net. But still, but when that kind of thinking, which I think the world can't do without, when that kind of thinking occurs, a conflict instantly arises.
Right. It's
just the nature of things. What were some of the conflicts, maybe, that you had to deal with all that? Like, filmmakers saying, there's no way you're going to release this movie the same day. What are you, crazy?
You know, the truth is, actually,
I don't know.
He didn't have a lot of pushback from at least Soderbergh in terms of day and date release, because Soderbergh was very interested.
Yeah,
he was very interested in trying something new.
Yeah.
And I think that's in the mathematical brain of Mark Cuban, the $2 million was something he pretty much figured he could end up even on.
Right.
Which is why it stayed at 2.
And he's right, I think. Yeah.
So I don't think there was that many, struggles. When you produce, and, when you're on a film, I think, you know this pretty well, there's a lot of just managing of egos.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, but in a way so that everyone ends up actually doing the job to the best of their abilities without having all of this, extra stuff being bombarded, at them. I don't even know if that's a real sentence.
But I get it. Yeah.
And, good producing and good filmmaking is when everyone's able to cohesively get together.
Right, yeah. And then you moved, all right, all this is, ridiculousness is only about, I love Last Night. I know I keep talking about it, I'm sorry.
No.
But
I'm
let's
glad you
go,
do.
this is such a good movie. Let's go through, because the casting. Who was originally, because Sam Worthington, I can't imagine him being the first name on the list.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
The first person...
He ended up working very well for the picture as that happened.
Yeah.
The movie gods,
Massey, the writer-director, she had a relationship with Kira from The Jacket because she also...
so she was in when...
Yeah, we had started a relationship with Kira from The Jacket. Massey has a really good relationship with Kira, and so she wrote this piece, and it was... What Massey saw was that it would be the first time it was basically the first... Kira was doing all these period pieces.
Right.
And it would have been one of the first roles where Kira would be seen as... It sounds crazy, but like a contemporary adult female.
Right.
And so she went to Kira, and Kira loved the script, which is a great script. And then she then went out to Sam Worthington. No, sorry.
No.
Then she went to Guillaume Canet, who is a French actor, writer, and director.
Okay.
And I think maybe Gaumont may have
been
a part of that.
Maybe, yeah,
but he's an extremely talented guy who wrote and directed Tell No One.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's pretty spectacular. And then she got Sam Worthington. And that was before Avatar had come out, and I think, or Terminator. Yeah, Terminator. And
okay.
He had maybe just started filming one of the Avatar and Terminator.
But word got out
Salvation.
he was in a James Cameron movie, the lead of the James Cameron movie, and that he started working a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, I think also Massey is at Creative Artists, and Sam was one of their clients, so. You know, she knew about him. Right. And then she got Eva Mendes on the project.
Who I just love.
I thought she was great.
Yeah, and she's so good. She keeps surprising me. I know that's a weird thing to say, but she's so pretty.
She has a stillness that belies her beauty.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say.
You just don't think that's how she's going to act and behave, and it's so still and quiet, it ends up being a really beautiful performance.
Honest and naturalistic performance.
Yeah, and I think she did a really great job with that role because, you know, she could very easily be the horrible woman who goes after a married man.
Yeah, she could play it like you would play it.
And then, you know, Massey adds her backstory, which makes you feel a bit more compassionate towards her.
Yeah.
And then the way she portrayed it, just, you kind of can understand. She's also got her own broken heart.
Yeah.
And she's just trying to deal with it in, you know, the manner that she sees best.
And you shot it in New York.
Shot
New York City.
Yeah, shot it all in New York. And it's over the course of 36 hours.
The interior's natural. It's a natural apartment.
Yeah. All in New York, and over the course of it's like 36 hours. So. Almost all night shots.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
Fun shooting.
Yeah, and in the New York City. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, the crew and everybody was great. So, and New York was great for the most part.
Yeah. Had you ever worked with a New York crew? Or
Yeah. With HDNet Films, they were based out of New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Diggers was done.
Oh, well then, of
Diggers
course.
was done in New York. Quid Pro Quo was done in New York. Yeah, so New York was, you know, New York was great, and the New Yorkers were great. The paparazzi was not so great. But I also, at that point, I had a different relationship with paparazzi because of Daniel. And I watched the way they treat celebrities, and it's an amazing experience to see it from the other side of the lens, because the side of the lens that they're showing you, it doesn't seem so bad. And when you're actually the subject and you're seeing how they behave and how much actually danger they're putting themselves in, and also the danger they're putting their subject in, with and the aggressiveness.
No regard.
Well, yeah, the aggressiveness that they come after you with is it's frightening. It can be really frightening, and I think, you know, Kira did a great job not. She has one guy she travels with, and he's amazing.
How did Daniel deal with that? How do you learn? Because it must have gone from 0 to 60 overnight.
It was like 0 to 1 million.
How do you learn to live like that? That adjustment period. You were saying on the show that there was a time you guys were hiding out. Not hiding out, but what do you do? You have to sit and watch movies.
Yeah, it's easier to not go out. And you know, I was able to go out. I was not recognized.
Yeah, but still,
No, I mean, touch wood, I really, thankfully, have never gotten any of that.
I don't know why.
Or I haven't crossed the people who do recognize me.
There are those people that think they want that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be famous. No.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've never liked being in front of a camera. It actually makes me usually quite uncomfortable. But watching what anyone who's a celebrity, anyone who's actually a person of, you know, any sort of noteworthy, whether you're a celebrity or you're a well-known politician or anything like that.
Yeah.
it's a really uncomfortable thing. You know, not to be graphic, you can't go. Well, you can, but you will. This will be a story. You going in and buying toilet paper. That's a story. They will take a photograph of it.
It's so bizarre.
You have to think of all these different ways to hide everyday things, because they'll make a story out of anything. And the truth is, regardless of, you know, whether or not you like being photographed or like being a celebrity, there does come a point where if you just wanted 10 seconds alone, you might not get it. And, you know, especially with what a lot of people don't notice, and I understand it, it's their one chance. Can I get your autograph? Can I take a photo?
I get it.
One chance, but they are completely blind to the fact that 10 seconds ago, somebody else did that.
Right.
And every 10 seconds past that, kind of for the most part, someone's been doing that.
Yeah.
So
and you just found out your dog died.
Yeah. Or anything. Or you're having a bad day.
Or you're having a bad day.
Hurts.
You walk up,
You are never left alone, because for some reason, the idea of paying to go see someone in a movie almost... It ends up feeling as though then they think they own you.
Well, they decided to be an actor. Why they must want it?
I've heard so much. Well, you know, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
They wanted this, and it's like, no, they did not want it to be like chased by 50, like a mob.
Yeah.
You know, and especially as a female, it's a lot scarier.
Well, Diana, I mean,
it's a lot scarier.
I don't know why laws haven't been changed.
Freedom
I don't
of the press.
understand it. Yeah, but this is a question. You won't be able to answer it, but we're talking about this. You know, on Cops, you know, you watch Cops.
The TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. And the people's faces are blurred out.
Yeah.
And the reason it's blurred out because it's cheaper to blur it out than it is to pay them.
Right.
Because they have to sign a thing and
right.
you have to pay them.
Right.
So it's just cheaper to blur it out. So if they don't sign the thing, they blur it out.
How did they get these guys to sign the thing?
But no. But they have to. These people have to sign something.
Right.
Right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to. Otherwise, they wouldn't blur it out. They could just say, "Fuck you. I'm going to show you whether you like it or not." There is a law in place. But if you're an actor or a musician or somebody who cut someone's penis off, or you know, I don't know why I said that, but you know what I mean.
Wow.
No, what's that woman, Lauren Bobbitt, or someone who's in pop culture that did something peculiar. That was a weird example.
Yes, sure.
Granted. I'm so sorry, but yeah. But for people like that, you don't need to sign something. You could just put it on a television show.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
You know, privacy laws. I mean, privacy laws are changing in you know, in the UK and in the States, but so slowly that it's, you know, it's like a snail.
It's like a snail. And speaking of snail. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really didn't talk about movies and how they were influential, but I talked to you. So, all right. If you like watching this, please listen to the show, The Moviegoer. I'm your host, Francis von Zernick. Satsuki Mitchell, part 2 of 2, and click on the link above or below to free to all listening to the podcast and radio show. All right. We'll see you next week. So.